Alright, back again with Sulphur Winter, Svavelvinter, the role-playing game in Intermission. We have not started book 2 yet. When will we? Only I know! Listeners and viewers will not notice, I hope, because I have a backlog of episodes, so you probably shouldn't notice when it's been a little bit of time since we last gathered, but we do. So welcome back, everyone. How are you?
Doing very well.
You're going to edit that out, right? That way they don't know.
Maybe. Depends on how...
The schedule has been going right along.
Yes, clearly.
Everything's fine here. We're all fine. How are you?
Just about. Let's start with saying that this show is rated R because of one pirate and because of this being a dystopian Renaissance fantasy setting where people do horrible things to each other, including, but not limited to, war crimes, genocide, burning villages,
Backstabbing friends.
yes.
Torture.
Yes.
We would never.
Zombies.
Whites at weddings.
And so on.
I specifically tried not to fight people, okay?
Though
It's not my fault somebody pulled a hammer.
we haven't seen anyone yet who has been speaking in the theater, so there's that. Anyway, let's introduce our table of agents for today, to whenever you're listening. This is I've kind of random because that's how it fell out with the overlay. I really have to attend to that before book 2, but I'll get to that. On the left, we have Sin.
Hello, I am Cincinnatus, and I, of course, am playing Lady Taralese da Bravaleti.
And then we have one of the Jesses, which is the one who resides on Palamux.
Waiting for a coastal signifier was temporarily confused, but I am the West Coast Jess. I'm Jessica B, and I'm playing Lady Brythanni.
And finally back again. We're so happy to have you. That's John. Yeah.
Thank you. My name is John. I play Promos Ab Gol Monda, the guy with a boat.
Yep. And then Josh.
Hey folks, Josh Point. I'm playing Erald to Mereld.
And finally we have the other Jess.
I am Jessica LaPointe. I am the East Coast Jess, I guess.
Yes.
I am playing Colonel?
General.
I'm a colonel now. General. I'm a general now.
Yes.
General Praanz de Kaelve. And I'm not a nice person.
She gives so few fucks, she forgot her own rank.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I think last session I was calling myself the Supreme General, so I
You
make
also
up
called yourself the head of the Secret Service at one point.
I make up ranks as I go.
Nobody has the stomach to correct her.
No, nobody has the balls to correct me.
Kaelve has, of course, control over the Digitalonga, at least the field work and all that, and any administrative matters is apparently in the hands of Duchess Linvina Gombina, who, oh, gods help us all, because I think she likes the whole, I have access to all the torture chambers in Famquality part of
He
this.
does.
Yeah.
That's why her and Praanz get along so well, because she's the more politically correct version of Praanz.
Is she though?
I mean, the bar is not very high, is it?
I mean, she
The
just
part-
has to keep her nose above water. That's it.
Right.
Does someone want to earn a fate die by recounting what happened last session? Quietness.
I would love to, but
I know what you mean.
it would be tremendously inaccurate.
Yes, it would be.
I as much as I would love to nominate John, because I feel like he could use the help, and I cannot otherwise give him fate dice.
No. So you earn the fate die and then you give it to him.
It's
we
there in
don't
spirit.
have a relationship though.
Yeah, that is required. So-
Yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Provost wants to hang out in Palamux and become a bizarre footnote in.
Hey, you gotta coast.
Quite
I mean,
happy.
Erald is actually, believe it or not, the person who is lowest in fate dice right now.
Oh, really?
Yep. Now, because you all were giving Promos a
Also
bunch of fate
wasn't
dice,
here
and
last session.
Rovendo Allesella succeeded with conspiracies, so he gained fate dice because of that. But Erald lost some fate dice because he failed with his attempt to get control over Safina again.
Stubborn fisherman.
I think it's like the third or fourth time now at this point.
Yeah, it is. It's your third time in a row, I think. Yeah.
I mean, I can give it a try, but it's been a minute.
Do you want to try your Josh? You do
Oh,
need
I
the
wasn't.
fate dice.
I'm in the same boat. I was
Josh
in here
wasn't here.
similarly.
Oh, right. Yes, it was just the
us
three
girls.
duchesses. That's right.
It's the three duchesses.
Yeah.
All
Yeah, so-
right.
And all I really remember
As-
is that I wed myself.
As best I recall, the session opened with with Praanz recovering in her villa in Bitter Hill,
Yes.
and Lady Taralese arrived and conveyed her to the Gombina estates to discuss the possibility of an alliance, given that Praanz needed a new employer. There was some speculation about what Praanz was going to do with the whole, like, everyone thinks I'm dead type situation. Then she realized, well, I can't command people if everyone thinks I'm dead, so fuck that. Was short-lived. She then had a lovely first date with Duchess Linvina Gombina, featuring a lot of nudity and a lot of blood, I seem to recall.
Yep.
And came away from that with a rock on her finger. And I guess this is just how they do things in Paratorna. There seems to be a lot of nudity involved in every scene that occurs there.
Yep.
So it's,
Paratorna with an A, is it? And is that west, east, east?
East.
East Paratorna. Excellent.
Listen, just because you're not comfortable in your own skin, that's not our problem.
it's y'all's skins I'm not comfortable with.
Well, that sounds like a you problem.
So that was the thing that happened, and then I think I had Lady Brythanni go and take credit for something the adventurers did on behalf of her employer, who is now, as everyone knows, clearly blessed of Tammuz, and everything is just going great on Palamux. I then received a visit from a Shamashi priest in disguise,
Mm-hmm.
who offered me
Shocking.
a certain geopolitical opportunity. So that was interesting.
Absolutely shocking.
There was much clutching of pearls.
Right? Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I think Lady Taralese negotiated something with someone else, but I cannot recall what the situation was there. Do you remember, Sin?
She actually had gone and talked a little bit with No, I can't immediately recall. I don't think it was Goskana.
Probably not, because this happened before the whole thing in
The
Fontesador,
Fontesador boot party.
yes, the Fontesador boot party.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Goskana has
An
not
attempted
been.
murder is just how we say hello in Fontesador. It's just.
Yeah, but Klenora was no. This was what happened with Klenora. It was not Klenora. It was Taralese who helped smuggle Praanz out of Villa Perenzi in Tresurga,
Yes.
and used some subterfuge there to talk to the gangsters who were patrolling outside the villa.
But she got a letter from someone. I'm trying to remember who now.
That could have been Goskan, I guess. Don't we have that in the Discord?
I thought there was a scene of Taralese negotiating with somebody, but I could be misremembering.
No, there was. It was real quick.
Yes. Yes, I seem to remember as well. See, everybody, this happened just like recently. We're all just very old and senile. I'm scrolling. It was
at the very end.
Yeah. You were negotiating with was it the next Duchess? Because you basically stitched up all the or was it about the armies?
I think it was about the army.
It was
'cause
about the
I remember
army.
Ciola.
Cardorinda from the previous session,
You
but
were
not this
you
one.
were then you were probably in Ciola talking to Peralta, new sphere member that works with the shipyards and all that stuff,
Yes.
right?
I seem to. Ciolus sounds familiar.
Yes.
Yes.
You did have a trip up there.
That was a while ago.
That was a while ago. Okay.
Lady Taralese talked to somebody.
Lady Taralese talked to somebody. Intrigues
Apparently
happened.
forgettable.
She was successful. Ugh.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to listen back before
The
you
guy with
edit that
face?
one. What happened there?
He had something she wanted.
She usually does at this point. All right, so just
That's
going
the
over
summary.
the Board of Shadows here because as a repetition of what has happened, we have Paratorna is very much under Klenora's influence, at least the southern part, and she's nailed down Karamak and
Armak, Bratalva, Braylor, Hojar.
Yeah, and that's 4 provinces just for you right there.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't gotten a toehold in Malusa yet, but I'm sure that's on the menu.
Oh, it's coming.
Meanwhile, poor old Duke Rovendo Allesella is struggling, though he had some successes doing intrigues in Tresilva last time. But then the Wigmakers Guild made their move and basically locked down the city. It's firmly in the hands of the Mafia now. And thus he lost his influence there, but he can rebuild it, and they can't do anything. Well, they can do things to stop it, but you know, if Rovendo succeeds in rebuilding that influence, it's gonna be there. So maybe kind of.
I would say that I am quietly succeeding.
That works too.
Alternative success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Wigmakers have spread their influence across here. There's some influence in Numaluth, in Newmark. There is influence in Peralta. Basically, both Tresilva and Peralta are locked down, which has implications for your headquarters there, Jess, in Famkvalvi, because that is, in fact, in Peralta. So right now, the mob has maybe too much access for comfort there. And then we have, of course, Hodjar. It's under Klenora's control, but you have Linvina and Gombina. That's your home territory there. And you've also made some inroads into Rule, which is now at level 2 there. I think you had... Oh, you have level 1 in Britalva as well, right? And then Goskana, of course, is locked down in the north, right? It's firmly under default control.
I'm only just getting started. I only just got powers back after Goba dying.
After Goba dying. Transmira is pretty much free from Tracorian influence at this point. Don't know what you guys are going to do about that. And the same thing is true for Palamux. And
Oh, don't worry. We have plans.
there is actually a toehold in Moscoria from Klenora there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Inquisition is basically locking down Safina. that doesn't mean that Paratorna or the Trakoran Empire isn't present. There are still Condotsiers, there are still guards, armies who patrol there. It's just that they will listen to the Inquisition because apparently Safina is currently a hotbed of anti-creationist activity. Who would have known that these peaceful, seemingly calm peasants harbor such horrors among them?
Those are the ones you got to watch out for.
Apparently, yeah. And that is the board at the moment. To remind you all, because it's been a while, if you have influence level 3 in an area, then your character can ask for help, you spending a fate die, and you can get almost anything, including an army. If you have influence level 2 in an area, your character can spend a fate die and get a help for a scene. That could be something like an NPC turning up and doing things for you. And if you have influence level 1, you can spend a fate die to get something like information, maybe a small purse of money, a small thing that can help you. You can do the same thing, same scale, but messing with people as well. Though I have a feeling that most people here won't mess with each other that much because, you know, you're not necessarily on each other's territory.
We're all such good friends.
As long as
For
you're
now.
not in each other's territory.
Certain value of friendship.
Yes. So that is the situation at the moment. And to add to that, we are going to this is going to be the last quarter of year 9 after the inauguration of the Chronolob. After this, we start year 10. Big
Sure,
year,
nothing
big number, 2
won't
numbers now.
happen,
You know,
really.
it's a 1 and a 0, big thing. Yes, 10 years after the inauguration of the Chronolob. Maybe there will be a party in Tresilva over that. Yeah, you know, last time when the Chronolob was actually inaugurated, there was deaths and panics and riots. It was great.
Maybe they'll kill another pillar father.
Exactly.
Sounds like a fun time.
Praanz was there. Praanz remembers. Praanz helped covering things up together with a certain apothecary. Is that apothecary still alive, by the way?
No, I think they've been eaten by zombies.
No. The apothecary was evacuated like everyone else.
I don't know where I left him then.
Did Praanz push him off the ship and then subsequently claim he was eaten by zombies?
Maybe?
Otherwise, he's alive and well and very happy in Tresilva.
Sounds like something she would do.
Or maybe not very happy, but at least, you know, abusing drugs in Tresilva instead of abusing drugs in Arhem.
I mean, if you've got like an extraneous pillar father, I'm sure the Holy Kashat would be pleased to help out with that situation.
And if you're going to do drugs about it, location does matter.
Right?
It really does.
So, I mean, it's really a sidebar because if you don't want to engage with the apothecary, but you do have a hook on the guy, so you know every once in a while you can just go down and
Beat him up a little bit and get some information.
yeah. He lives in complete terror of Praanz.
Most people do.
I suppose, yes, I suppose. And for good reason. Did we want to start with a scene where... Because I know that Sambarsun wants to have a chat with someone.
Yeah, we could easily start there. Get that right out of
It's
the
the
gate.
first time he's going to be on screen?
Yep,
Yeah.
it truly is. Sambarsun Korea, who is the, well, Elder Inquisitor, leader of this particular branch of the Inquisition, not the director of the whole thing, of course. They're, you know, that the organization is headquartered on the continent for the most part. So this is just like the Trakorian division. But it takes no longer than a day, maybe a couple, to get up to Paratorna, if that's where you're traveling.
Yep.
And then a couple of days back, so it's It's really fine.
Yeah. So, he's going to Hodajar to visit Klenora.
Klenora is currently in Malusa, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
A little bit further inland then.
Yes, a little bit. Yeah, it's on the way to Hodajar, really. It would take you about 3 days to get there, and it's terrible traveling times, really, because winter is starting. But just because of that, apparently it's clear sky today, according to my weather generator. So you were lucky, I guess.
Awesome.
Yes.
Knew I was going. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Let's have the Tricorian, the Partorna map, so we can see where we are in more detail. And I'm not gonna have Clemender here because he's not. He's somewhere doing bad things, but we will be somewhere in this vicinity here, I guess. Kamest, Masmatra, Farthing, wherever you want to be. Where might Klenora be? Kamest is the old seat of the Kamesti Duchy, so,
Oh, she is fully in the heart of it, making sure that everything gets just so where it needs to be to ensure that he's making proper reparations for his sins that he's committed against the Empire.
Yeah, he was a terrible person, right? So are all the other dukes, but he got caught.
Which is the worst sin of all. I mean, really.
Yeah, this is, we're talking Kamest, which is where there is a lot of refineries of Silvolium, really, you can find there. I think there are lots of those in Masmatra as well. But yeah, so this is the river valley where the precious Silvolium that has been extracted from the Criffer Woods in the east is shipped across the water, across the Molassie Lake to Masmatra and Kamest to be refined into Silvolium. And so it's an industrial place. It really is.
Can I ask a strange question?
Yes.
Please tell me the properties of the wood.
The type of wood that is used for this?
Yeah, what's special about it? Why would they push it all that way?
It's because this particular type of wood, so when you refine it it's the only tree sap you can use to create Silvolium.
Okay.
You can't use any other tree sap for that. Up here in Canada, we're used to taking tree sap and making maple syrup.
Everything. I hear you guys. Yeah, clothes, cultures.
Yes, clearly, and our world famous maple syrup index and reserves. We have those. They exist in Quebec. So think that, but kerosene instead.
Okay.
Or napalm, as the case might be. It's
so as
napalm or wildfire, really. Yeah.
As a guy with a boat, would Promos have ever traversed these waters? Would he have ever made his way that weirdly far inland?
You could I guess you can get all the way up to Helterham by sailing up the river, but it's not going to be easy necessarily, and I'm not sure that he has had reasons to go there. Looking at your sheet, like your specialities for skipper,
he's much more out in the deep seas.
Yeah, he has a ship and he's a fisher, and he could have been in Lake Molassie because, being this close from Allesella and Tresilva and the court, you could definitely go fishing in Molassie Lake. But I don't know why he would go up to Helterham necessarily. Once you get the specialty for the expertise for skipper, that you have a contact in every port, at that point you are very widely traveled.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
So there is an expertise for widely traveled. So yeah, this is Kamest, and I'm sure that Klenora will receive the good Sambar Korea in good order. And what does the reception look like?
He's a priest of Shamash, right?
He's an animist, really.
Animist.
And let's see now. I believe he is a priest of Enki, I think, if I remember correctly. Blinks a bit. I think he's priest of Enki. So no, not I mean, he will honor Shamash as well, but he's not primarily a worshipper of Shamash.
Okay. I mean, she'll greet him with, you know, a nice reception, food, drink. Pretty sparse since she hasn't established herself quite as well there, and needs to demonstrate herself as an honorable member of a representative of the Empress and representing her interests here. Ah, Sambrasund. I wasn't expecting to see you here. What
Yes,
brings you all this way?
I figured I would actually make an appearance, as haven't had much chance to go ahead and leave my little island, but Erald's been doing most of my work here for me. I figured we could have a quick chat, mainly about, well, Paratorna.
Oh,
And figuring out how to assist further.
assist? Truly? Assist how?
Well, as you very well know in Hojajar, I've sent over my fire tongues to stand by as needed, and well, frankly, the well, simply put, trying to get rid of, and you very well know at this point from my background as anti-creationist at this point, is want to go ahead and rid the realm here of some of the horrific items that Erald's been mentioning. He just recently attended a wedding, he was mentioning, and some of the monstrosities and magic and the absolute mysteries that he was mentioning at the wedding, that they just simply don't belong.
Oh, yes, I heard about that. It was quite the affair. They even tried to kill Praanz. De Kaelve, I heard. It's all rather quite interesting, don't you agree? But regardless, I do agree that the wedding itself was an abomination, especially the flagrant display of anti-creationist magic. It simply will not stand. And the gall of them to do it so close to the Holy Kashat, too.
Oh, they're definitely up in arms, and I've had many discussions with them, but it's one of those sensitive subjects, as the whole state over there seems to be improperly controlled.
Oh, I would very much agree. So, what exactly are you proposing?
Well, simply put, I've got my island under control. I'd like to help you get yours. And as long as when time comes for us to assist a shot, you'll be right there with me.
I think I can arrange something. And I'm certain that if I took it back to certain other holy individuals who are devout, they too would be willing to back such a righteous crusade.
Excellent. So yes, I figured this would have been even as simple as a letter, but sometimes in person it makes more of a presence known.
Of course, of course. It's greatly appreciated that you would come and talk to me with such great confidence. I do hope your travels were smooth.
getting close to winter now, and it was a little rough in some parts, but at least today it's nice.
Yes, the smog did clear up today, so it's rather fortuitous that you showed up today. Maybe it's a sign.
New things. But yes, I'm going to leave my resources over next to the Gishat for now. And hopefully, with that said, we'll be able to assist them further on that villainy across the sea.
Yes, I believe if you help us in removing your unsavories, perhaps you can help us in being able to remove our own unsavories, to reclaim our own temples to the good Lady Kashif.
I don't see any reason why not.
Excellent. Now then, would you care to go join me for lunch? Just a light little spread today.
Sure.
It seems like Coria's visit has been successful.
Yes.
Dun,
Looking
dun,
forward
dun.
to it.
Exactly.
Hey, Mikhail, should we talk about like temporary goals for the session? I just realized.
Oh,
I was
yes.
looking
Good
at
idea.
my sheet, and I realized I needed to change mine.
Yes. Good idea. We should definitely do that. I'm still operating from the old sheets at the moment. Yes. Feel free to... Have you changed it, or are you changing it now? Everybody's thinking hard now.
Good with mine.
Ah, there you go. I see you've gone on to the newer sheet. I'm gonna transfer your fate dice to that as well. There we go. Okay. So what might be some other objectives here?
Mine
I don't
will
know
be
that
the
you
same as
need.
last.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know that Taralese needs to change anything there. Promos is, of course, drifting in the wind here, being a guy with a boat. That's what he does. He drifts with the wind. Would he have any particular goal for tonight, you think?
Just meet new people and see what there is to see. You know,
I'll put that on the sheet.
He doesn't stay in very fancy hotels, so
meet new people.
Doesn't want to buy a drink for the Pirate Queen?
If she is in town, he will absolutely head that direction.
Don't
he
know
is an
that
unabashed
she is.
fan.
Don't necessarily know that she is. She's usually out around Mixa or Trinsmira, but that might be harder now given recent developments. Maybe she's in fact in Karamak, because that is a huge naval base. So that could be it.
Someday I will lay eyes on her.
Yes.
Well, if she's in Karamak, you sweet talk Klenora, she might be willing to help make it happen.
Does Klenora know people in Karamak?
Oh, she knows all kinds of people in Karamak.
If he ever hears that information, he will try to show up at the Spinalunga party.
All right. Will we do a scene with Promos and Taralese, or Promos and Klenora?
I desperately want to see Provo sweet talk literally anybody.
Taralese is more more into parties than Klenora.
I would think so.
So, yeah, I'm sure. You said winter? So, maybe the latest cadets are graduating and it's party time there at the Naval Academy.
Why not?
Sailors know how to drink.
They surely do, yes. Carnald. With Promos approaching. I'm gonna need to put the name there as well so everybody can see.
So I guess the question is the Pirate Queen in port?
I'm gonna say yes. It's winter. They're doing all the maintenance for the season, and that's a lot of work on ships, right? So Promos and Taralese meet in Carnald. And of course, Promos will. I mean, they've met before. Not the first time.
We've run together a time or two.
Yeah. For example, when you came picking up Taralese and Praanz from the caravan, the convoy from Marjura. That time when Praanz pushed someone into the ocean.
That was far away from here.
Yes, it was. It was indeed.
Turns out you can just leave a lot of problems in the water.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But yeah, we've run together before. We killed zombies side by side one time, did we not?
I don't think that was Taralese though. Promos was there, but not Taralese.
Yeah.
That was one of Praanz's buddies.
Right.
Adding a desire to see Taralese kill zombies to my list of, future scenes.
That might be easier said than done. Though, magic is a thing. I'm not sure how magic will work on them though.
I feel like that scene would go more like, no, Taralese, you swing the sword this way, pointy end out.
Oh no, it's more, be a dear and go hit it for me. Really intense staring.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the wrong shoes for this.
Yeah. Sorry, I just got my nails done and my hair permed. I mean, you know how it is.
Not trying to ruin this look.
Praanz covered in blood going, no, I really don't.
Oh, don't worry, darling. I'll show you for your wedding.
Promos, you're having the letters of invitation from Duke Rovendo Allesella opens a lot of doors for Promos, also including to the Naval Academy, apparently.
Yeah, I'll roll around any sort of graduation reception and talk to different shipwrights about what they're doing these days.
Yeah, most of the people at this kind of reception will, of course, be nobles who have gone through the Naval Officers Academy and therefore are very, the way nobles can be when they have gone through a naval academy. Proud of themselves is what I'm trying to say. Also, dressed in very fine clothes, all algae silk everywhere, sabers at their sides, high, perfectly made leather boots, and probably more than one very fancy hat.
I will be sure to wear my own ridiculously fancy hat.
Is the rest of Promos's clothes as fancy?
Oh, good. Oh no, good heavens! They were once. Unfortunately, he lives in them, so.
Yeah, I think
they are fine garments that are worn and repatched with different kinds of leather, oil hides, anything that keeps the water out of the wool beneath it.
There's going to be a lot of strange looks at Promos for his
he's used to it.
shambolic appearance.
The hat, however, pristine.
That is pristine, but everything else is not. There'll probably be some comments. I can roll 2d20 on the insult table.
By all means.
That is a 7 and an 18. I'm sure someone will say that he is a dim-witted knave.
If he overhears it,
Is that the best you
he'll
got
buy the guy a
right now?
drink.
I retorted.
I was gonna say that feels mild.
The dice failed me miserably.
Practically a love letter.
A dim-witted knave.
That was what the flustered ensign managed to get out of his mouth. Yeah.
Oh no! Drink that down, Swabby. It'll loosen your tongue. You'll come up with a better one next time.
That is exactly what you should answer, really, on a bar-torn party.
Come on, try again when you've had a few. A dim-witted knave. Ooh. So, Taralese, how have you been?
Not being a dim-witted knave and having a much sharper tongue than that one had.
How about a puke-stalking knave?
See, he's sticking with the knave theme, so at least he's consistent, eh?
Is that the word of the day? I'm sorry, you need to go find a new dictionary to read from. Or do you even remember how to read? No? Oh, okay. Go back to your drinks.
He goes back.
Go play
to
with your
drinks.
swords.
Yep. He does that.
In any case, oh, you've missed quite a bit. Praanz is
Hey.
engaged.
Really? I hear a rumor now that she's general.
Oh, yes. Well, there was also that whole matter of dying and coming back to life. And, oh, really, it's all rather fascinating. But
So now, like, is that part true?
which part?
The like death and come back part.
I truthfully could not tell you myself. I was preoccupied inside at the time. I was
See-
having other conversations. But from what I understand, she was fully dead. That is a doornail. That is the black heart within her soul.
But she's like, all right, now then.
Oh, yes, yes. Her poor... Really, I do feel a little bit bad for her servants. There was so many pottery pieces they were having to pick up. Her poor friends were having to dodge left and right, though it must have been very good training for them for next time they go on a raid with her.
Well, if I do see her again, hopefully she's not a zombie, and maybe share a drink. But General, that's good, right?
Oh, quite. It's wonderful. It's doing wonders for her reputation. So, enough about her. What about you? What have you been up to? Allesella's been awfully quiet.
Well, in the winter, so there's pods of bluefins, and they head out to the cold waters. And if you follow them out there, you can listen to them sing at night. And it's a good time to be out on the still parts, out among the ice if your ship don't freeze over. Nice and reflective, and needed some time for me.
Oh, the way you were going, I thought you were going to say that you accidentally smashed yourself upon the rocks and were left adrift for a while there.
Oh, never. I'd skip off of them. Aoife's far too light for that.
Good to hear. Speaking of which, these ones are all rather lightweight. Do you perhaps want to go to a different kind of party? Maybe someplace that's a little bit more lively?
Someplace with a little less of the prissy navy boys that can't string together a good insult.
Quite. Ones that are a
Uh,
little bit more rough around the edges.
Oh. That was okay.
Looking
about,
expectantly.
You're like,
Deformed
this one might be bad.
deformed lard liquor?
It's blubber.
Deformed lard liquor.
Blubber liquor. That doesn't have
Blubber
lard
liquor.
You
Lard liquor is
fly?
much smoother off the tongue.
Go run home. Go hide behind your mother's skirts. I mean, really. Oh, these children.
Hey, I think I know a place around these parts we can get fucked up.
Oh, where are you proposing? I was proposing going and, perhaps hanging out with some of my privateer friends.
Well, absolutely.
They owe us a favor for certain things that were done on outside of their contract.
Done or not done?
Done.
Well, let's go get your
Unfortunately
friends.
for them.
Yeah, Provost loves to hang out with privateers.
Ah, yes. Yeah, that's going to be the seedier parts of town, but it's still parts of town, and they're still, I'm not going to say Navy boys, but salty boys, that's for sure. And gals, of course. Salty people of all kinds. And you're trying to get access to Vemsica, the pirate queen herself? Is that what you're doing here?
Just the tavern where she's at, where she's drinking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that can...
At least to start.
Seeing as... Let's see now. I'm thinking here. Seeing as this is... I mean, Taralese could keep track of that as well by virtue of being noble and being connected to everything, right? So, that's a thing. And...
Well.
But Promos, by virtue of being a skipper, will also be able to track her down, I'm gonna say. So you can use your abilities not just for the ability rolls themselves, but also to track down connections that have to do with that ability. So
Excellent.
Praanz can use swordsmanship to track down people who are good at swordsmanship. She can track down like the best fencers in this area, or where's a good smith who can make me a good blade, things like that, and so on and so forth. So that is another way of using the abilities here.
So my hunt's mastery would be effective.
Not in this
in
case,
this
but
as
your
well.
skipper would definitely be effective.
Okay. Yeah, especially if she travels in a ship that has any sort of distinctive markings or reputation about it.
Oh yes, definitely.
The moment that he sees it in port, Promos like.
Do you want to meet her?
I've dreamed of it so many times. I should I keep the hat? Taralese, you have to tell me, should I keep the hat?
I'd lose it.
Lose the hat. He takes off the hat, stows it in his boat if he can, or holds it awkwardly.
Fanboy, that's what we have here.
Unabashedly.
We love it. I'm just flipping through my pages here to get to my reference point. Where is it? Oh dear. You want access to her. Taralese, do you want to help him?
Yes, she will.
All right. You can, of course, do a water check. You have lots of that. And if you want to add Machinator to that as well, you can do that. Promos, you have your water and your skipper. So if you are going to do a roll for that, that would be spending fate dice for it. You would be up to 4 dice in total. But if Taralese is going to help you, she should go first. And she actually has 5 dice, so... Wow! Ooh! That was the crazy roll.
She's got some pretty nice dirt from that event, that thing at the sulfur camp.
Clearly.
That they did.
Yes. That's 4 dice of help. Like 1 for succeeding and 1 for every 6.
I think that Provost is just gonna do his natural best. He doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't have to use the skipper now. Just roll water plus 4, 6 dice.
I feel like Taralese is like, he's like busy looking around. Taralese is just like gently guiding him in the right direction.
Just like weaving him past every single cutthroat that stands between.
Exactly.
I know that. Can I still use Skipper in the role? I would like to try and buy her a drink, and tell her that I very much like her boat.
You can use Skipper if you want. That would cost you 2 fate dice, 1 or 2 fate dice. You decide how many, and that would bring you up to potentially 8 dice in total, 7 or 8.
I will go on ahead and spend one fate die to do that.
All right. One die
so
to the
that's
chalice.
76.
So 76.
Okay.
That is a lot of successes. The good Promos will have his wishes granted tonight. Between Lady Taralese and her reputation as being a member of the High Court, and Promos's obvious sea legs, I think the Admirata is curious to see him, actually.
He will be a. I think that there's kind of a shift that here in this like grubby, you're going to get stabbed in the kidneys, Saltport, bar, in front of this woman that he has read about, that he has like built up in his imagination. Even if she is nothing like she pictured, he is simply starstruck. He does not want to take up too much of her time because he's a guy with a boat. It's just his own thing. It's a small boat. He has no crew. He has no he's not being hunted down by anyone. He just travels and does his own thing, and he admires her ability to do what he sees as incredibly challenging. Like to run a ship that big.
Yeah, it's a big ship.
Incredible. And he very politely and earnestly buys her a drink and tells her that she admires her. And then just kind of like snaps to a courtly bow and leans on his harpoon as he goes back to Taralese.
I mean, she is positively. You're probably laughing with him and at him at the same time. I have heard a lot about the little monkey that Allesella has added to his court, but nothing of what I heard matches up to the truth. Promos, is that your name?
Yes, Promos Gol Monda. What have you heard? There are nasty swirling rumors going about, ma'am, that I am a dim-witted knave, or a knave of some variety.
Yes, that would be some of the rumors there, but I hear that you are from Trinsmira originally. This is just the Paratonan way. They say that about everybody. And they, some of them do not appreciate the art of crossing the waves as they should.
Too much time on stable land.
Oh, much too much time. The merchants are all right. They understand the salt and the foam, but there are quite a few landlubbers around here too, particularly among the nobles.
But still, they're a good sort. Fun to have a drink with. They don't understand the lives that we live.
They do not.
Then if
they did,
being
they
a
wouldn't need my
knave,
services.
then if being a knave in their eyes has placed me in your company, I would gladly be a knave 1,000 times over. If being a monkey is what led me here, then I shall be sure to pick up bananas the next time I'm in port. Allesella pays me well enough for a variety of fruits.
Let's drink to bananas.
It has led me here.
Let's drink to bananas. You have had your...
He will just be as polite and charming. He seeks nothing else from her. He needs no validation. He will hold this night forever in memory on long lonely nights with nothing but cats.
And as such, he will in fact gain a fate die from the chalice back, because his destiny is to meet one true friend. And while the Admirata might not be a true friend, it was still a moment. A moment, for sure.
I think that for promos, he has a he has a true friend in Taralese. He will swear to her that the after this evening, however they end up, once he is sober, he will say, like, for this, you slid me when my feet locked. For that, I am ever in your debt.
You're welcome, I think.
You have my services,
anyway.
Taralese. Anything you need.
I greatly appreciate it, and I'm very glad that you enjoyed your evening with her.
I enjoyed my evening with you, my friend. She was everything that I dreamed and more, and I do admire her boat, but I admire you. Thank you.
Oh, you're such a sweetheart.
Does
So where's-
Phobos have a friend in Taralese? I don't know. Like,
I think in his perception, he does now.
but in her perception, does Taralese have friends? Is she a friend of anyone? Or are
She
they just
has
tools to be
useful acquaintances whom it benefits her at the time to treat nicely.
So at this moment, I mean, he's not a competitor at court.
Ding.
He's not
Hey, Promos is, if he is aware of it, he is okay with this relationship. He's like, a useful acquaintance? Yes. Do you need something shipped or smuggled somewhere in a hurry? Call me. I owe you, and I'll never let this one go.
Oh, good, because she actually lost one of her smugglers.
Well, you got one.
I'm sure this is going to end well for promos.
You need a
of
guy with a
course.
boat? I happen to be a guy with a boat.
To find one true friend in the world is his destiny, right? At this point.
To find one true friend in the world, yes. Also, would you say that this qualified for my bane? To make an ass of himself in court?
No.
Or at the party?
No, because nothing bad happened to him.
Good point.
The Banes are all about causing trouble for himself or for others.
Can I add dim-witted knave to my reputation?
I suppose so. Though you haven't done a whole lot to gain a reputation yet.
Don't forget a little monkey.
Yes, the dim-witted monkey knave. I don't know.
So I guess it kind of depends on timing then, because Taralese would definitely invite him to come up to Praanz's wedding if it hasn't happened yet.
It has not. We have not decided
Okay,
how that's going to happen. So
that's fine with me.
We're-
So it hasn't happened yet, so Promos gets an invitation to Praanz's wedding. Woohoo!
they're still planning.
They're still planning.
I will gladly arrive. I've never been to a zombie wedding.
See, there's a first time for everything.
It's not a zombie wedding. It's a wedding between lesbian torturers.
Oh, please, you say that like there's not going to be blood, gore, and someone's brain spilled out all over the floor at some point in the night.
There's a very fine difference. Nobody's undead.
Will they get some serfs for that purpose?
Well, maybe.
Okay, well,
Some skeks?
okay, that could work. Oh dear. Yeah.
Oh, Praanz also needs to get a tattoo.
Ooh.
So in light of that, would you like me to waterproof your boots?
Like Taralese's boots?
Mine or Taralese?
Whoever's going to need it for the reception. Sounds like.
That's how they do a wedding ceremony there. You just, slit a throat at the altar.
Not
Okay.
normally, but it's the Goomba wedding, so anything could happen.
It takes all kinds as long as it's not my throat. I'll have a harpoon at my side. Don't take any offense to it. I'd love to go.
Wonderful. I'm sure she would love to have you there. I'm sure they'll appreciate the entertainment that you bring and the joy you bring to everyone around you.
Perhaps I can lighten the mood.
No doubt. So Promos thinks that he has found one true friend. But has he? I'm thinking here,
It remains to be seen. Dun dun dun.
Does the table think that Promos should have 3 fate dice for Destiny?
As much as I want Pros to have 3 fate dice, this is not.
No.
I can keep working at it. It's okay.
Keep working at it.
This is not a true friendship, I don't think.
He might be better off approaching Erald for that one day, but we'll get to that. Because Erald is not Praetorian, and also not a noble. He just burns people at the stake every once in a while. No, he doesn't
Only.
do that, actually. That's Gio, so,
Takes out their kneecaps.
Again, that's
They
Gio.
underestimate the old man, and he just happens to take out kneecaps.
Yeah, but that's still Gio, mostly. Yeah. That's what Gio is for. All right, we've had Promos and Taralese in Paratorna. Shall we see what's happening on Palamux for a moment, or who wants to go next?
And I can go.
All right. Nothing bad is going to happen on Palamux, everyone. It's all going to be fine.
Fine.
Yes.
Fine.
There
Just a
are
normal visit to my beloved neighbors, the Holy Kashat. It's
Yes. Albaruncia, the White City.
fine. I would like to state for the record, this was my plan before hearing a certain scene earlier this evening.
Sorry, not sorry.
So, you saw the broad outlines of the plan in my channel.
I did indeed, yes.
Yeah, so gonna send some folks ahead, give them like at least a couple of days because I need to go talk to Garen in Moscoria. He's not here, obviously, so that's
Yep.
gonna have to take place off screen. And then I guess her plan would be to meet back up with, what was his actual name? Hurrian? I'm trying to remember.
Yes. Huriams.
Probably also have somebody keep tabs on him because like he's being so obvious about it to make sure that nobody else is taking to an unhealthy interest in this definitely a wealthy merchant of some kind.
Yeah, he calls himself Master Marinor and pretends to be, something like that.
Yeah, definitely gonna send somebody to buy some fake things from him at one point.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's something of a professional embarrassment, but that's okay.
Right?
Yeah, and then so the plan would be to approach him and say, and basically tell him like, look, I have some people that I have used for this before. I will send one of them to you. Perhaps you could show her the way back to the
Yeah.
back to the
To Kashat,
city.
yeah. That shouldn't be a problem at all. He's you're gonna want to do some surveillance on him, of course, in front of the door. Are we gonna spend a fate die here to invoke some shadow poweriness to help Lady Brythanni with that? Because with influence 3 from Empress Georgiana, you can have basically a spy at every corner and find out his every move and map it very carefully with all the resources that she has at her disposal. But that requires a fate die.
Yeah, can I use that ability? I can only use it once per session, yeah?
You can use, yes, that's correct.
Okay. I think my influence 3 is already spoken for.
Okay. I will also say that you can also only use it in an area where there is influence. So you wouldn't be able to use it in Holy Kujat because you don't have.
Yeah. No. No, I meant for the other scene that I had planned later.
Yes, of course.
Which, we will see if I survive this first one.
It's gonna be fine.
Yeah. I was more thinking some of her friends could tail him.
They could. Let's roll ourselves a roll of some kind. I'm gonna draw upon her ability, the first one there that you have 2 levels in, because that seems like an ability that can be used for this purpose. And maybe fire, because you're sneaking around, or are we using word of mouth here?
It depends on whether she's doing it herself or if she has people who are a little better at the whole, like, physically sneaking around type situation.
Right. Let's do the people who are better at sneaking around type situation. So fire of 3, and then that first ability to the level of the ability in question. So that would, if you want to spend 2 fate dice for that, you would have 5 dice to roll. Shouldn't be too hard because this guy is maybe not,
Well, it's funny because, like, I know out of character that he's just terrible at this, but Lady Brythanni is like, he's either terrible or he's really, really good, and I don't know which one it is.
So we're putting 2 dice in the chalice, are we?
Yeah, we sure are, because this plays into my temporary goal for this evening, so.
That works.
Best, That's not bad.
Right. That was
3 successes.
3 successes. And I'm gonna roll for him, of course, because he does get to, defend himself with his 3 wind. He tries to keep.
Glad I spent those fate dice.
Yep, that was 2 successes, but you have more, so you win. You will be able to track him. I'm gonna, abstract this. This is over several days, no doubt.
Yeah.
To get his movements down, and he. I think you have to conclude that he's terrible at this.
Okay, good. At least I saw him mount a credible effort to defend himself, so he's not like a complete babe in the woods.
Yeah, but it's not because he is good at spycraft. There's no signs that he's using things like dead drops or using any techniques to shake pursuers.
He just seems perceptive.
He's aware of his surroundings. He notices things that maybe goes other people by. But
I probably have to stop somebody from killing him at some point.
Maybe. That could be a good idea.
If he's wandering around Fontresalor dressed like that.
Yes.
With no guards.
Yes. Well, he does have guards.
Okay.
Yeah. A couple of big bruisers.
Yeah, having assured myself that my paranoia is in this specific respect misplaced, she will then approach him again, say that she has made the arrangements and she will be sending, and he should look to meet with a woman named Alma in the next little while.
He will be very happy to hear this.
Yes. And then she's going to go take her face off and put on some simple clothing and...
And introduce herself as Alma this time.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. He's not very good at the whole seeing through disguises and such.
Ironic.
Ironic, yes.
So, are you going to change after we leave town? Because this hurts my heart.
Yes, quite. I would have to. I suppose. I will change to my vestments, as it were. Yes.
By which, of course, I mean it is a shame to see a man of such obvious faith driven to such extremes.
Needs must, alas, in these times. Needs must.
Indeed. So, how did you get involved in all of this? If you don't mind me saying so, this seems new to you.
He will seem slightly embarrassed because, again, he doesn't know how to hide his emotions properly. Taralese would be so disappointed in this guy. Well, you see, Miss Alma, is it? Yes. Well, essentially, I simply follow the instructions of the Kristallokrat Manzonla, and for the betterment of Shamash, I have taken this rather odd duty upon myself. Yes.
I have a similar role myself, although I don't serve one such as the Kristallokrat, I must say. But I sense something of a kindred spirit in you, I suppose, in that respect. Can you tell me a bit about what does the gentleman in question's 9 to 5 look like? Where does he go? What does he do? You seem a perceptive gentleman.
Of course, yes. I would be delighted. Well, we will have to make our way into the very heart of Albarunzia, and to, indeed, the very heart of the Shamashi temples there. The Kristallokrat, of course, is surrounded by quite substantial... the Sharki Shatin, I should say, is surrounded by quite a substantial court, including many learned priests, and quite a few guards as well. I have never counted them, I will admit, but seeing as this is Albarunzia, I will say that there are precious few, shall we say, secret passages and such that we could use.
Of course, deception not being apropos and all.
Quite so, yes. Quite so. I am... perhaps we could approach this matter through the kitchens.
I was rather wondering, actually, he follows the fashion of having the small bottle to render any further drink unpalatable.
Yes, he does. Like every faithful, and he brings out his own little bottle.
Of course. It's just sometimes people in a position of power don't do what they're supposed to. So I'm sorry, I had to ask.
Oh no, he certainly does. He certainly does. He's very particular and meticulous about these things, which also means that he sleeps on a wooden frame of a bed. There's no mattress, There might be one or two nails sticking out, though I don't really know because I haven't seen it myself. And he doesn't sleep much. I think at most 3 hours per shift. Because
And he follows a routine, does he?
oh, certainly, yes. It's a very, very precise routine.
Well, that's helpful.
I hope so.
And
yes.
We can we could probably move to narration. She's looking for opportunities to do what this guy suggested in the first place.
Yep.
Oh, also, she would have in the intervening days either collected herself or had collected some of the leavings of that certain group that was previously in Fondrasalor and is now no longer.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna roll a roll here for. So Hurriams will support you fully in this, and I'm gonna spend a couple of my ill-begotten fate dice from the GM's pool here to support you further, which means that I'm actually gonna roll 5 dice because he's gonna use his wind. I'm sure he has some equipment here, maps and whatnot as well of Albarunzia and other things. So that gives you an extra die, maybe even 2, because he knows the ins and outs of this place very well indeed. So that's going to be 5 plus 2 for his scholarship. So that is, in fact, 7 dice that he's going to assist Alma with in preparation
these are
for this.
bonus dice I would add to the eventual attempt, or is this for making a plan? Okay.
This is for the attempt, actually, yes.
Okay.
So she gets the full backing here. Since this, unfortunately, is not a character who has experiences, I cannot reroll to give you more successes. But you do have 2 extra dice for the attempt itself from Hurriams, the Crystallocrat, and the tools that they bring. Since you will get to have the map in your hand and, such tools, you will have the +2 as well for the tools you get. So this is, it turns out, and I'm sure Alma is somewhat surprised that there's a lot of people in Albarunzia who are apparently supporting Manzonla and this conspiracy. This is a full-fledged conspiracy. Everyone who's played Crusader Kings knows what's going on right now. Find all the allies. Get the thing done. So it's gonna be 2 dice from Hurriams, 2 for tools. Yeah, that's another 4 dice for you.
All right.
Do you just want to settle this by rolling the skill in question?
Did the people she sent ahead gain anything useful? It would be hilarious if they got made by the Castellocrat and are rotting in jail right now.
That would be kind of hilarious, wouldn't it?
But I mean, they are specialists at this sort of thing, so...
They are specialists. Should we roll just 3 fire dice versus 3 wind dice because it's the Kishat?
Oh, I can't even use the disguise expertise because they'd see through that.
Yep.
That would be unfortunate. All right.
I could be nasty and use Shamashi Truths to see through their intentions and everything, and then I have 4 dice or 5.
Well, they're not being dishonest.
Fair point.
They are experienced courtiers, after all. You can easily tell a lie by telling the complete truth.
All right. So that is 2 successes for them, and 3 wind. 1 success only for the Kishat. They win. That's another success for Alma. Everything is so much easier when you do a lot of planning, you have a lot of allies, and the target in question is someone who a lot of people want to see, and also is a bit sloppy because routines and all those things that makes it so much easier.
I have waited so long for this contract, and this is what I get, a frail old man who makes my job super fucking easy? Really?
Yes, that's
Really?
that is exactly what you get. That
Alright.
is what you get. Sorry to
so
disappoint.
Yeah, I'm and so it sounds like I'm at +5 dice on the attempt.
Yep. Are we using any fate dice for this?
Absolutely.
Both of them?
Sure. So I guess probably what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go the social skills route, using the expertise that keys off that, since I'm good at that.
Yes.
And get somebody to pin this on who's not me.
That's great. Yes.
The coordination factor for her friends in situ are, of course, one of them will find the evidence that I plant, fingering the that other group, and we'll give it not to somebody higher ranked, because of course we're just scullions in the kitchen. We don't talk to people who are higher ranked, but presumably it will eventually make its way up the chain of command, and by that point, nobody will remember the random kitchen scullion who found the item in question in the course of their duties.
Mm-hmm. There will be. I'm sure that there will be a certain token left behind at some place. Has to be done.
That's fair. I suppose what Alma would probably do is she would leave it. After all of this goes down, she would probably pay a call to the Crystallocrat and leave it someplace there with a note saying, remember who your friends were.
Indeed. All right.
AKA, we are good at this.
Mm-hmm.
Do not fuck with us.
Clearly.
Alrighty, so that
all the
gives
dice.
me-
This is not going to be an easy roll, though, because we're abstracting it. So I'm going to need more than a single success.
So that's 5 dice for the bonuses for planning and everything, 2 dice for my fate dice,
And 3 for the water.
3 dice for my water.
Yep.
So that gives me 10 dice total, yes?
That's a lot. Yes, indeed.
Alrighty.
That was not a very good roll.
Yeah, well,
1, 2,
thankfully,
3 successes.
I was chosen for
Clearly.
a special fate and destiny, so I am better at this than that roll would indicate. So
Yes.
let's see, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to reroll. Yes.
Yes, indeed.
I mean, I do have 4 successes.
You do have 4 successes. There's no 6 in there. Oh my goodness.
2 more
Not a
successes,
single
still no
6. Okay. I'm gonna say it succeeds. The work succeeds, but at cost, and the cost is she is seen. And she basically has to flee the Holy Kishat with guards hot on her tail.
Okay,
Yeah, they make her.
that's fair. Does she have the presence of mind to shout something to the effect of, leave me alone, you ruffians, Goscana will hear of this?
Without a 6, no, I'm gonna say no.
Fair enough. Okay, so I
but
have
I will
to,
give
I have
you
to-
3 fate dice back from the chalice for doing this because destiny. So there we go. So yeah, I'm gonna see here. She will. Is this the situation where she actually has to fight one of the guards to get out?
Well, let's see here.
That could happen.
If the opportunity presents itself, she would probably be thrilled to fight somebody, because she has not been allowed to do anything of this kind for a very long time. And, maybe on some level, she wanted to get caught, so she had an excuse to kill more people.
Fair point. Fair point. That's terrible.
I guess somebody else has to leave her gift for the crystal then, since she is busy fleeing from guards.
Yes, she is busy playing with the guards. Okay, let's do this. Let's have a brief. We can't have the courtly music to this. That doesn't work. How about some spooky music? And the monster here is, of course, her. So, yes, she has been made. There is a guard coming at her with a sword, because that's what they have. They have long black tabards with the sun on it. And no, it's unadorned. No symbols of any kind. It's just a black tabard. But they do have heavy armor, and there we go. So we're going to have 3 for stone, 1 for a sword. I'm guessing they have... Oh, but she might have the thing, right? You have range on them, don't you?
Yeah, I was lamenting earlier in my chat that there isn't space on the sheet for all my weapons.
Yep. Yeah, you have range on them, so they don't actually get the benefit of having a weapon. You will get that. But they do get the benefit of having swordsmanship and being expert swordsmen. So that's 5 dice in total. That was a terrible roll. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it was not very good either. I'm gonna count this as their initiative because they're like spotting her.
Fair enough. I have kind of forgotten how combat works. Do I roll defense now, or?
You roll defense indeed. And you can add up to 2 dice there because, of course, that ability covers using these particular tools as well. So you would have fire or stone, which is 2 in both cases. You would have 1 die for the tool. So that's 3, and then up to 2 fate dice to the fight, the actual fight.
I should probably stop spending so many fate dice on this, but like I feel like she has been so frustrated that she's just gonna give this her all.
All right, there we go. 5 dice then. Oh, yeah, that works. 2 6s and a 4 is definitely better than what they rolled. Gee, I have to remember what the damage is on that thing. Because I didn't look it up before. Sorry. It's a lot.
All right.
I remember that much. But how much exactly? It's... Oh, that's the one. That is a 2. So that would be 2 plus 2 equals 4. That equals 1 dead guard. Feel free to describe what happens when the dark guard jumps out there with a sword and
Yeah. So what previously appeared to be innocent farmers' tools suddenly, in the hands of a skilled practitioner, becomes a deadly grim scythe, and the guard who was not expecting to be facing something of that nature was off balance and therefore easy prey.
Easy prey indeed. And down he goes with...
And I imagine there's blood spatter across my face, and I lick my chops disgustingly.
Yes, and there is a nice arterial spray on the wall, as if this was a movie done by either Tarantino or Kurosawa. Pick one. Or both. There is blood.
Yeah.
And that allows her to, I suppose, make her escape, because that was the cost there.
Yeah. Well, she really wants to fight that other guard, but she's like, no, I have a job to do.
Exactly. Now, she did kill someone.
Remember the plan.
She did kill someone, so I still think that's a destiny thing.
Glory be.
Yes. It's been a while since you could get fake dice for this, hasn't it?
Yup.
Yup.
Yeah, and then so I flee, and presumably her friends make their way back, leaving from separate directions, spaced across time, such that the departure does not look that suspicious. And then perhaps we reconvene at one of the. Is there a temple of an Ashtar in Fontrasalor?
I'm
Someplace?
sure there must be. It's a big
Yeah.
city. There's gonna be temples devoted to most gods.
Yeah.
It might
Then
not be
I
a big
feel like
one,
we're
a
gonna
small
have
shrine
a-
perhaps, but
We're gonna have ourselves a little devout moment because it's been a long time since we have been able to engage in that particular religious practice, and it is necessary to give all honor to the gods.
there might be a ritual in a different place as well. Seeing as the messenger of the gods is present there, let's just say. I feel they will do that, probably.
I don't know if this is a winking reference to Erald or something. I'm
No,
not thinking of
this
what I'm
is a
supposed to.
winking reference to Alma and
Okay.
her friends.
Yes, that is
in the
fair.
faith.
Yes, absolutely. Such things are important, and hopefully a sign of more such events to come.
See, Errol, they are serving the gods in their own ways. They're religious.
Mm-hmm. Very devout.
One zealot to another. It's okay.
I mean, there was a reason they recruited me.
Exactly.
Presumably.
Presumably.
Either that or the guy just lucked the fuck out. One of the two.
All right. So, having done this scene, shall we have a look at what Erald is going to be up to? Because we haven't seen much of him lately since the three Duchesses were doing their thing last time.
Yeah. So, honestly, I think Erald probably go back to see how things were with back to Roll, I think,
Ah.
truthfully, and see how the blue kid is coming along.
But that, sir, is
'Cause-
not in Rule. That's in Illiboria.
Illiboria, sorry.
Yes. Big difference. Specifically in Skooger. Right there.
Yeah, as that very much left.
An impression, huh?
Yes, because he doesn't really know how to deal with that, for lack of better terms, because he's unsure if that was creationist or anti-creationist, and he's still just in awe of the situation.
Yeah, I seem to recall the general tenor of the reaction. What the actual
Didn't Simba do a thing up there?
Oh, right, Simba, yes. Simba has been in Transmira for the most part here. But as it turns out, I was gonna give you the news anyway. Simba has, shall we say, failed miserably in Transmira and been kicked out by the rebels? Yeah. And Praanz would know this, of course. Praanz having been spending the fall, I think Praanz has been a lot at Helterham, right? Her new residence with her spouse.
Yes. Well, we're not married yet. Her fiance.
Well, her fiance, yes, but I mean,
Fiancé.
it's kind of a second home by now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Having been there, I mean, sooner or later she's gonna hear the news of her cousin Simba.
Well, they showed. The reason I ask is because when the whole thing with Goba went down there was some imagery of Simba.
Yeah. There was like an effigy. They burned an effigy of Simba, and there were people screaming about how he was butchering Transmira and children and things like that. Which,
Okay.
to be fair, was probably true.
I thought it involved something else, but I think I misread it.
No, they had like a display of the burned child, which has become a bit of a cult on Transmira by now.
Right,
Yeah.
but I thought the burned child was a different child.
No, that was apparently the one that Simba Bird.
Different from the blue kid, I
Yes.
think.
Yeah.
perhaps.
That's my misunderstanding.
Okay, yeah,
I
there are
thought
two
the
different
burn
children
child was the blue child.
No, there are two different children here. The one is the
Plot
innocent
twist.
one. Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Because that was my understanding, that Simba had fucked with the rebels and then burned their god.
No. So the blue child is the center of the cult of the innocent one in Skugr, which is on Paratorna. This is for
Right.
the default. But the
Completely
burn
different
child,
creepy child idol.
it's a yes,
Right,
it's a
no,
different
but
child.
because when I was going to investigate what Simba was doing and basically knock some fucking sense into him, I was with Erald.
Yes, you
I
were.
think. Okay.
And you were on Transmira, but you never got up
Okay.
to the mountains because of all the shenanigans and weirdness that Fundibera
Right.
was throwing you in.
Right. Okay.
So that's why.
my confusion. That's my confusion.
No, the burn child is not so much a god as a legend and symbol of Trakorian oppression. So it's a propaganda tool.
mythos.
Yeah, the terrorists are using a propaganda tool basically.
Yeah. Okay. My misunderstanding.
Not a problem. But yes, Simba has retired from Transmira in, shall we say, infamy, and had to hang his
Disgrace?
disgrace. Absolutely, had to hang his head in shame. On the other hand, he, being of the noble birth that he is, has never been prosecuted for any war crimes or the like, of course. That would be admitting some kind of culpability on the part of the Trakorian Empire, and we can't have that now, can we? Right, Klenora?
I'll just talk to Taralese and have him silently killed. It's fine.
Speaking of which, before we go to Skugr, and I think we should have this conversation in the Bodak between Duke Allesella and Duchess Klenora, how are you intending to handle Simba and the situation there? There are ideas. The proposal is basically to send him somewhere where he doesn't do any harm, and nobody will ever think about him again.
So, Safina?
Yeah, that's actually just where I was thinking.
As it happens,
Why don't we send him to take care of the zombie problem? He won't survive that.
Ooh, the cousin is bloody. There have been I mean, that's gonna be in the spring in that case, because you can't sail during the winter, of course. But as Goskana da Skugr has an idea for you. He does have the cult of the innocent one has been incredibly successful. There are crowds going to Skugr now, and as such, they do need to have a guard who can discipline the throngs a bit. Just, keep an eye out, make sure that the locals don't, skip the line, basically. Yeah, that's a Dorg man. That's
So, are they or are they not against Paratorna rule? Because I thought that's what I just heard. Maybe I was mishearing.
I mean, the defaults have been, haven't they? But they've
have
also
certain-
just been kind of stomped on Palamux, and that changes things, doesn't it? Goskana has already approved you guys.
Sucks having principles, you guys.
I have
I
several
don't know
sets
what
of
principles you're talking about.
If you don't like the first set of principles I have a perfectly good other set here that I can bring up.
So I've heard.
Listen, when the bad guys look like the good guys compared to the good guys,
I feel like letting Simba have any kind of power and freedom of any sort is what got him into this trouble in the first place.
Yeah, but this isn't power. This is him being a door guard.
right?
Did he know that?
But you also don't want to insult him too much. because that's
Unless
just
you're
going to
going to
make
kill
it
him.
worse. Yeah.
Can't we just lose him at sea somewhere? This is Linvina, his now cousin by marriage. Saying this.
Yes. What does the Duke Allesella feel about this? Like, this obvious war criminal who basically single-handedly managed to get the entire transparent population to rise up against the Empire and etc. Yeah. Oh. I can't hear you there, John.
We can't hear you.
Sorry, headset was muted as well. If you're going to have an underdog story, you need to have a strong opponent to come back against, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're going to have to spin this if we're going to effectively stage a revolution.
Ah. Well, I mean, they were the ones staging the revolution. Like, you were the evil empire in this.
Yeah, we'll have to, we'll either have to take it back or figure out some way to get the disenfranchised. I mean, sucks more for my brother than for me, and he is an idiot. So,
So are we curb stomping him or making him a villain to make them think they have their revolution?
as long as someone else is willing to pick up Allesella's bill, he's willing to deal. He does not have much in terms of filial loyalty. He is a coward. But he would rather, work with people that would like to get some sort of dramatic vengeance.
Mm.
He's used to the imperial customs, and he would hate to have to learn a whole new set of table manners.
Goskana the Skugra, I can describe him for you if you want me to. He's an interesting fella in his own way.
So is he coming to the Bodak?
Oh,
to,
yeah. I mean,
offer his services?
Well, not to the main building, let's say. This is definitely going to be a shady back room type of deal.
Okay, back of a coffee house someplace.
Yes, very much so. I mean, officially, the defaults are still sort of against Decoria, but he's...
We're not the
willing
ones
to-
fucking with them.
Yes, quite so. He's willing to be pragmatic. Realpolitik is a friend, right? So Tracoria might be son of a bitch, but it's his son of a bitch right now. So he is an old man. He has kind of yellowish, pale skin. Around his eyes and mouth, it's just blood red, and every once in a while he has to dry the corner of his eyes with a kerchief because there will be some blood coming out or from the mouth. Yes, I understand. You currently have a problem with a certain condottier, he says.
Perhaps. And why are you asking about a certain conductor?
I might have a job for him to take him off your hands.
Oh? Care to elaborate more? There's some rather frightful rumors coming from up north.
Rumors, schmoomers. We have... Excuse me. He coughs a little bit. There's a small stain of blood on his kerchief. Nothing contagious.
Are you well?
Ah, quite well, yes. No, I'm not. Well.
Seems tuberculosis is quite popular up north.
If only it was that. Wind check? Anyone? Let's see now.
Allesella will do a win check.
Yeah.
Or
Did we put down stats for him? I think we did at some point.
I believe so.
Yeah, we did. But because of things have been messed up from when we moved from one to another, I think he has water and wind, and that's it, right? I think that's what we did.
I believe. Let me check on
It's the
sheet.
classic noble spread, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 dice for that. That was 2. Oh, that was for Klenora, yes. I don't think Klenora has seen this kind of stuff before. How about Rovendo? 3d6?
Let's find out.
Have you heard about this?
Lenora doesn't go to those kinds of parties, apparently.
Apparently. Now, this is a curiosity. Well, I mean, it is well known enough. Rovendo will have to rack his brain a bit, and first he also thinks about some kind of sickness, and then he remembers, you know what is really, really common in Illiboria? Addiction to opiander, the spice. And apparently it does things to people, like bad things. Maybe this is that. It would be highly ironic, because the Defaults Guild is, of course, dedicated to eradicate the substance abuse of opiander. So here we might have the head of the guild being a slave to the spies in question. Oops.
Nice little bit of blackmail to file away for later.
Yep. No, nothing so sinister, I assure you. It is not contagious. No, we have masses of throngs of people flocking to the innocent one in the north. But we have need of a stern taskmaster to keep the riffraff in check. Make sure many on the outside of the temple are under the yoke of the opiander, you understand. And they can go mad with lust and have little regard for their own security. I think a man of that particular captain's caliber, who is not afraid to get his sword dirty, would be just the right person to keep all the addicts at bay.
And what exactly are we gaining from this? I've heard from certain sources that perhaps you had some issues in Muscoria.
I did indeed, yes.
So why have you come requesting our aid? Besides that, what exactly do you have to offer?
I have to offer the assistance of the Defaults Guild in countering the nefarious influence of the new Empress on Palamux. We do not trust her or her spouse. Her spouse approached my agent there and asked what we were doing there. We simply offered to trade, which I'm sure that you Praetorians will understand the value of. And what did we get in return?
They're Palamuxi. They don't appreciate trade.
Clearly not.
I think we can perhaps work something out. She'll say, looking between Linvina and Rovendo.
I'm sure something can be arranged, as long as
We have apothecaries, potion makers, and even some agents of other kinds who can perhaps assist you in your ventures to stabilize Tricoria, the western possessions. We get a guard for our most sacred one.
Do you have poisoners?
Of course. We make all sorts of potions.
Worth considering.
We, live by a simple device.
And what requirements would this sacred one need to be effectively guarded? What sort of opponents wait for him?
At this point, I'm mostly worried about the those under the yoke of Opiander. You see, an unfortunate side effect of Opiander is the illusions, the hallucinations. They are not just in the minds of the user, but also leave that mind and prowl the streets. Some of those hallucinations are quite monstrous in nature, and thus requires martial prowess. Something that we do not have quite sufficient of in the default guild, us being scholars and students of alchemy first. We are currently in the process of hiring some mercenaries in Rule, but they are still being trained.
And these mercenaries will require what? Transportation, lodgings? Are you looking for us to host a small army?
No, not at all. Not at all. We shall, of course, pay for the men-at-arms in question. I'm more interested in the reputation that you seem so aggravated by might serve well in the alleys of Skugor. To put proper fear into the addicts, and to the effect that the conductor in question is skilled with a blade, perhaps he can destroy some of those hallucinations when needed. The gatehouse could certainly use that type of competence. We've lost some supplicants to this already. Very bloody affair.
Well, seems you have blood in plenty.
Yes, we do. It's true.
We should give us a day to discuss, but I'm sure that arrangements can be made.
Of course, of course. He will bow. He's actually quite simply dressed. He has a lot of various pouches. His belt is like a utility belt of pouches. And every once in a while, he'll bring out an herb from one of these pouches and just chew on it. And then he bows and leaves.
Once the room is private, Rovendo will say, How deeply indebted do we want to get to a man who is about to die?
Truthfully, it's not about the man, necessarily. It really is about what he represents. And he has underlings who will rise up, as I'm sure you're familiar with such machinations.
I'm all for sending him someone Simba just seems like the wrong choice. I don't think he has enough self-control for an area like that.
I could make use if his whole little power structure, his little alchemists, if we can bend them to other purposes. I know several people that I would love to see poisoned.
Don't we all?
A good idea, then. Beneficial for all three of us to have this resource.
Agreed. Like I said, I'm all for sending him someone. I just think his choice is the wrong one.
So here's the real question then. Who's best to hold the leash? He will need a minder, regardless of where we send him.
And that currently is the problem with him, is he needs a minder that he's going to listen to. And there are little to none. He's got a bit of a mind of his own, and it lacks the intelligence to do what needs to be done.
So we need someone with a bigger stick to hit him with. What does your fiancée say?
She's obsessed with the zombie problem currently.
Of course. I mean about her cousin and...
She thinks he's an idiot.
Sure, but what makes him tick?
Oh,
Besides
he's a
pain
bully.
and violence.
A simple schoolyard bully.
Yeah, that's about it.
As far as she's concerned, she'd like to just simply cut the limb off the family tree.
Sure, but is there anyone that he's ever had more pause when they've tried to command him?
The temperament is genetic.
So do we then send a second in command with instructions to prune that limb?
It's a possibility. I can tell you this, the family will not miss it. And the tree may be healthier for it.
Will this march in the direction of let's hire some people who knows how to prune limbs?
You know, I wonder. Perhaps he needs some spiritual guidance.
Perhaps.
I think perhaps there is a man whom your fiancé traveled with. He may be just the one. I've heard he has a rather firm hand for such things.
I believe I know who you're speaking of, yes. A certain Inquisitor?
Precisely.
He may have come up in conversation. He's an interesting subject.
Oh, from what I hear, Simba will find that he's full of surprises.
Oh, yes.
He'll whip him into shape, I'm sure. Even if it means caving his skull in.
Well, if he can keep my fiance's temper in control, it can certainly do something with Simba.
Then it's agreed. We will reach out to him, and I will reach out to his own minder to see if this is something that he'd be willing to help accommodate.
Let me know if whatever funding you may require, if you wish to provide a paper trail so that your hands remain clean.
Yes.
Oh, of course.
And let me know if you need anything smoothed over on the family side.
Tablet trail, clay tablets, stamps everywhere.
Let us know
I can make sure that the copper ingots arrive at my locales instead of yours.
And perhaps this is also the time, if there's any special orders you need to put in, Rovendo.
I believe that my purposes will be met once we have a fine selection of poisons at our disposal.
There will be a fine selection of poisons.
This is beneficial in the long run to me. I'm going to go try and find some mages.
Do be careful about that. This is a very delicate balance we're having to strike here, working with the Inquisition.
I do not look forward to it.
Oh, come now. Every once in a while, we have to get our hands at least a little bit dirty.
I may be able to help you on the mage front. I know people.
Those with a tendency towards manipulation of the wind.
Yeah, wind. I mean, they can be procreationist. Anyone dealing with powers over the 4 elements can be procreationist. They do not have to be anti-creationist. So aquamancers, pyromancers, tectons, tectonians. I don't know. No, not technomancers. Tectonmancers.
Summoners?
Yeah, tectonic summoners, and wind masters.
I do have some water mages, if you require such things. I have been helping your people with some of their water locks.
With wind, I think that we could send messages very quickly, which we may need to do. Water is subject to a lot of the problems with having a living storm a little bit off the coast. I want to kind of keep this like super stum just in case.
Mikkel, the kind of magic that Linvina does.
Oh, that is screamingly anti-creationist.
I said I know people.
Moon magic is highly frowned upon by the Inquisition because it requires sacrifice.
Right, but she would have her toes in other magical communities.
I suppose, yeah, she would have her toes in, yeah. Not necessarily the creationist ones, but I'm sure she could, in a pinch, reach out to other practitioners of various elemental magics. I can also say that the eternal storm in question is outside Palamux, not outside Paratorna. So aquamancers, as long as you're along the coastline, you're going to be fine. But also wind, as if you just want to carry messages across the island of Paratorna, certainly wind can help. Probably faster than Zeppelin with a Windmaster spellcaster, that's going to be a fast ride.
Actually, that's true. Wouldn't they probably have at least a wind?
Yeah, she would probably have one in her employ to carry her Zeppelin.
We haven't talked about it before because we haven't finalized the
we haven't finished my character properly.
Exactly. The Digitalonga inventory, but yes, that could be a wind master there. Okay, there is a wind master. There we go. It has been decided.
Oh,
the characters on the fly is fun.
Yes.
Slightly retconny. Linvina has one in her employ.
He's a forgettable fellow. I quite often.
He's rather flighty.
He works with my pilot quite often.
Ooh.
I'm sure both Klenora and Rovendo have their own Zeppelins too, of course.
Yeah, we need some guys who would be willing to do dirty work for money. We need the guys that failed out of the creationist temples for being absolute assholes. We want to find the dropouts from the magical society.
Again,
Animist
Linvina is your
dropouts?
girl. Linvina is your girl.
That will be a future resource on the Game of Shadows board. I just see it. Animist dropouts in Rovendo's employ.
Linvina is all of the shady shit.
Or
love it.
Linvina's employ. It's either way.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
I want a stable of those guys.
Let me call in some favors, and I can manage that.
That sounds great.
All right, so we're officially sacrificing Simba and putting him under Erald, where he'll most likely die, just because Erald's eventually going to get tired of him and kill him.
The only reason he hasn't gotten tired of Praanz's shit is because she's relatively competent.
There you go. And that brings us to Erald finally, doesn't it? I think.
Finally.
Finally,
Sure.
in Skooger. Which he reaches after Simba has been assigned to guard this place together with a bunch of mercenaries and so on. This is, I'm gonna say that this is quite close to the midwinter solstice, which in northern part Torna probably involves some snow. So I'm gonna have some snow coming in just because it can be done. Some snow. Look, some snow.
Yay.
And Skooger being a miserable place like the last time you were there, Erald.
Yep.
But a lot more people now. A lot more people. Because the floating cliff is hanging there over the temple, and there are lines of people who want to get into the actual temple area. But the guards are keeping a close watch on who's who and who gets to do what, and the line is kept under strict watch by condotsiers with even halberds. They're well equipped, and they keep order here. They keep order sternly. So what is Erald after here, primarily?
Well, Erald's goal is to basically go ahead and see if he can actually meet with the Innocent One, or at least find out the well-being of the Innocent One, because last he left, the magic and the occult and whatever you want to call it basically occurred, and that was the end of it, and he left. So now he's coming back to see if the Innocent One is still in well-being, and obviously see how well they've dealt with the Opiander crisis here in Skooger since he's left. If it's either worse or better, probably worse because of the increased population. But yeah, so
The Opiander crisis is gonna be the way it is. Have anyone told Errol that he's supposed to be minding Simba?
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, Klenora would have sent a letter to Samperson to ask Erald to do this for them.
This is where wind mages come in real handy.
Mm-hmm.
How has Erald possibly received this message?
I'm assuming he probably, maybe he literally got off the docks at Skooger, and some way, somehow, the message went north instead. And it's like, because at the end of the day, Erald keeps constant communication with Samsard.
Yeah.
So it could have been, hey, I'm going up here, and if you need me, that's where I'll be.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe he gets off the dock and he gets the note in tow as they see the Inquisition in the white robes basically get off the boat. They're like, hey, there's something here for that fellow.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Skyrim scene, when the courier comes up. I got something for you.
Yep. So yeah, Erald.
Your eyes only.
Yep, Erald will definitely go ahead and read the correspondence and kind of. Why did I? So where do I find Simba now? This is this question.
So I guess here's
Looks
another
up,
question.
and then all of a sudden,
Yep.
Would Praanz have included her own little note in there for Erald about Simba?
Oh yes, there would have been one.
You're on mute.
But we can still hear her.
Okay, I guess. Yeah. Sorry.
There would have been one letter from Linvina being like, "Here's your instructions," or probably actually more Simbarsa. But then there would have been another one from Praanz shortly behind it being like, just kill him, please. Please get him out of my hair.
We're friends, right?
We're friends. Can you do this for me?
Give me a
I'll owe
solid
you.
bestie.
I'll owe you. Do me a solid bestie.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I guess you have to meet with Simba then.
Yep. So I will. Yeah, I'll go meet up with Simba, assuming that Erald knows that he's here, and make his way over.
I imagine Simba makes his presence very obvious.
Erald doesn't remember much about Simba, so
When-
this should be interesting.
When he is when he is seen, he is very obviously seen. Yes.
Praanz has described him to you because we went to go look for him before.
Right,
And we
but
didn't quite get there.
Erald never personally seen
No,
him
you've never
before, so-
personally
yeah.
met him, but Praanz has described him as her temper but dumber.
He's a very, very thin, pale, wiry. Has a slightly outsized head with quite sharp eyes, and that's basically it. He has a scar as well from his various shenanigans.
Doesn't he have one from me?
I'm sure he does. As I
Yes.
said, his various
Only
shenanigans.
Only one, yeah. Yeah, so Erald will definitely head towards the inner temple and probably run into Simba along the way.
Not so much run into Simba, no, because Simba is not out there available for all to see. But he can definitely ask his way through. The guards will let him in because, it's Erald. He's an Inquisitor. He has the badge. He can wave it.
Excellent. He
Which-
will all the way in.
I am sure he does. So the guards will let you through, and what time of day would this be?
I'm assuming probably mid-afternoon.
Mid-afternoon? Yep, that's fine
Sure.
with me. And Simba is sitting in a command tent. Most of the mercenaries here are not given barracks. They're given a series of tents that they're camping in, which is pretty cold. And he is going to look up and receive you. He has his breakfast in front of him. What do you want? And he grabs a shaker, or he grabs a pouch from his belt and strews some powder over the food.
Is that what I think that is?
Yep.
I'm saying that both, I guess, IRL and and question mark Opiander.
Get your own, he says.
I laid the document from Baru right down in front of him.
What's this to me?
You're now under my responsibility. So
Okay.
leave your tent and come with me.
He stands up. Wait, I just need to finish my meal.
No. That junk that you're putting into yourself, we're gonna have fun dealing with that later. I look over at Gwillo and say, remove his pouch.
He's gonna make you miss me.
Oh, well, this is gonna go interestingly. Dear.
Is there fire in the room?
Yes. I mean, there's fire to keep things warm, isn't there?
Excellent. Just questioning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just questioning. I'm thinking here about your wind. Yeah, that's not very high. Roll a wind check anyway there, Erald.
Woo.
Yeah, okay. You have no clue. Great. Yeah, Simba will be out of the up from his chair very quickly, and apparently, guards! He's screaming as he stands up.
I've been asked by your cousin politely to bring you out from here.
Bring me out from here?
You're no longer assigned here in Skooger.
Actually, that's what he is, isn't it?
He is. I asked you to kill him.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to bring him back.
No, I want him dead.
Well, but we could send a message that's like, hey, bring Simba back because the other guys want a protector, and now Erald has to follow him for a little while before putting the knife to him. Correct?
Sure.
Like we need the cover up. Simba
Praanz
Simba's
is asking you to come home for her wedding.
Yeah, Simba has been tapped. He's been specially requested, hand-picked. We need a man of his particular expertise, and he's wasted in this backwater god trap. We're done here. We're needed for a different god. Come on.
There's a family wedding.
You promised Goskana to have... Okay.
Yeah. Accident along the way.
You've clearly learned your lesson, Simba, in the 2 days you've been here.
Yeah. You did it, champ. Now you're needed elsewhere. Oops.
Oh dear. Okay, I guess we have a face-off here between Gio and Simba. Simba is screaming for the guards to come, as they will. But it's going to take a moment or two before they come. I mean, there are guards posted outside the tent, obviously, so it won't take that long for them to come in. But did you want Gio to just attack Simba and kill him, or what are we talking about here?
I mean,
because that's going to draw some attention.
You can say he attacked you in a fit of opiate rage.
That's going to draw some attention.
Yeah. Okay. So at this point, Erald will actually grab Gilio's arm and start walking towards the outside of the tent.
All right. Simba will not go with, and guards will come in there and yes, sir, what is it? See these two yahoos out the gate. And so I suppose they will.
How many guards is there in the inner sanctum, in addition to Simba?
Ooh, let's have a look. It's quite a few, I believe. I mean, they are there to guard the innocent one, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, Omba thinks pretty highly of you.
Umba does think pretty highly of you. You were there to sanctify the child, so that was great.
You have papers signed by General Praanz.
Yeah, I suppose. Let's see. There was.
Besides, I very much doubt we sent Simba on his own. We probably sent him and his, at least his main men that were there in Transmira.
I mean, they're gonna have at least a Centuria there working, but I mean, not everybody is in working at the same time. So there's gonna be there's 3 by the gate just guarding the lines. There's gonna be a few people, at least half a dozen inside, just as keepers of the peace.
I'll actually, yeah, so as basically being escorted out, I look to the guard that's escorting me and politely says that I'd like to actually speak with Umba as your leader here, looking back at the tent, is actually addicted further to opiander than he realizes. And as Inquisition, he's making false claims.
Huh, says the guard. I mean, you have the credentials, so I guess the guard will get you into Umba in the temple area. And Umba will be very happy to see you, of course. Stand up, greet you, and kiss you on both cheeks.
Very nice, Umba, to make your acquaintance again. Come to pay my respects, as wondering how the innocent one is coming along.
Oh, a true blessing to us all. Yeah, he's spry young fella, young lady actually, spry young lady, very precautious, highly intelligent, and we are truly pleased that you blessed her presence here among us.
Excellent. I come to let you know that one of your guards out in the court is very addicted to opiander.
Yes, it is a scourge. It is a scourge among us here.
And I'm hoping to see if there's a way that I can assist, deeming your approval, of course, Omba, to take him along with me on a journey to go ahead and see if we can figure out other methods to deal with the opiander crisis.
Oh, I'm
using him as a perfect specimen of someone who's addicted.
Oh,
How many
we
dice?
have
How many dice to stage an intervention?
We have so many such around here. Terribly sorry to say, they it's really a dime a dozen around here. I can only say that unfortunately, you can have your pick of addicts from out in the town. They're everywhere, truly. And there is nothing much to be done about it once they have tasted the foul spice. Then it is over. They just don't know it.
Yes, that seemed to be the case as he attempted to strike me whenever I entered his tent.
That sounds very much like it, yes. We, let him keep himself in there. It's mostly his reputation we need, you know. Are you rolling a Machinator roll here?
No, well, yeah, sure.
You only have the 2 fate dice. Yeah.
Yep, no, I'm not going to bother with the Machinator. Erald will look at him and say, what about the weight of the Inquisition instead?
The weight of the Inquisition?
Yes. What if... What if I have the opportunity to bring some of my Tensids here to help you guard, or maybe even the Fire Tongues, those of the Innocent One, as if you're having to hire those that are already addicted to the opiander, will they remain loyal?
They only have to function for a certain period of time, and really it's mostly just... Well, it's not a big problem for us. In fact, I think the presence of the Inquisition would make some people around here nervous, I think. Yes. You understand that many of the supplicants who come to the innocent ones see themselves as deep sinners. We don't want to scare them away.
True. It's just so blessed with the experience seen that I was hoping to be able to help you in some way, somehow. But,
you have already helped us in every way we need.
Well, with that said, I'll take my leave and very much appreciate you granting presence here with me today.
If the man ever becomes a big problem, we will definitely send for you.
Excellent. And Erald will make his way out of the inner tent, or inner sanctum, and now go ahead and see if there's less soldiers or more soldiers.
There are more soldiers, yep. Simba is not taking any chances with this.
Excellent. Assuming that Simba's outside, I will look him in as I pass and say, "See you next time."
He has his belt on with a saber and a dagger and just glares at you.
I'm gonna go tell your cousin.
Yeah. Tell my cousin to mind her own business. He hisses a bit.
She does love you dearly.
Yeah, sure.
Loves to cut you off the family tree.
I remember
walk
just
out.
how much, and he kind of strokes his scar a bit.
Yep. So yeah, Erald will make his way back down to the docks and wait for the next polite boat to get off this cursed area.
Indeed.
I'm gonna have to ask Taralese for a good assassin.
I'm gonna roll a fun roll here, just to see if you have a fun encounter in Skooger. You never know. Things can happen as you march out of the... Nope, you were lucky this time. Nothing bad happened.
Womp womp.
All right. So I think we do have a scene that happens in Fontainebleau, doesn't it? That we
Yes.
wanted to get through as well.
Yes, indeed. Once it's been long enough that Brythanni is fairly sure she's not going to get hunted down by sort of Shamashi priests. Yeah, she will of course have put her face back on once she arrived.
Which
home.
helps immeasurably. Strangely
Yes,
enough, they don't look for that kind of thing.
Yeah, and so I guess she's going to go collect Master Scoffer and head over to see Lady Gemma Francisca with an appropriate number of guards. Being helpless, delicate little flower that she is, shouldn't be wandering the streets of Fontainebleau by herself.
Right? Exactly. Yes. She's helpless flower. Yep. Anyone doubt this now? We all know she's a... Okay. We all know she's completely helpless. And she will have a good escort of strong, wide-shouldered, burly guards. Muscly such. Yes. And they will take you to the estate, which, and I just realized that I haven't actually finished that map yet. I should, because it's a...
Quite all right.
It's very much lots of ruins.
If there is a combat that requires me to count my steps, things have gone very wrong.
Yes. The outer, there's like a wall around the estate, an outer wall, as all nobles in the palatial area have, and as so many nobles in the palatial area don't have the funds to keep their estates going as they should, there are holes in the walls, considerable holes. enough to walk several tapirs through, in case one would want to. The tapir being the national animal of.
Oh, that would be a very good sign, wouldn't it?
It would be. It would be an amazing
walking
sign.
through your walls.
Yes. But also, this main estate has basically 2 wings, and only about half of it is livable, if that. Basically, the outer wings are just filled with holes in the walls and ruins, and the central building is pretty much where the family lives. It has a couple of stories, and that's where the living quarters are. That part of the ceiling is intact.
I seem to recall Lady Brythanni has been here before, back when I was being an influence use at the Adventurer game, so she has gotten the shock at you live like this out of her system.
Yes. Of course, the son in question is not here at the moment, alas. But Lady Gemma will receive Lady Brythanni, and as in true Palamoxy fashion, she is dressed in the attire of a noblewoman from about a century ago. These clothes have been repaired repeatedly, but they're very sturdy to begin with. I would like to think of the simplicity of maybe Frankish Charlemagne era type dresses, and made out of sturdy but high quality woolens, and lots of embroideries around the hams. That's basically how you show that you're, of higher status. In her case, of course, most of the embroideries that were golden thread and silver thread are faded with time. And the same, she doesn't wear much jewelry, which is also an indication. Maybe a brooch, of course, to keep her cloak, with some semi-precious stones, but other than that, there is really not much. Like her shoes are also old leather boots, with well, they might be a hole somewhere. There might be a hole somewhere. Yeah.
Lady Gemma Francisca, you really must give me the name of your embroiderer. This is so subtle and tasteful.
Oh, why, thank you, young lady. I'm afraid that the master craftsman who did these particular strokes is dead a century ago, at the 50 years ago at the very least. He did this work for my grandmama, you understand.
An heirloom, then?
Yes, quite so.
Have you met Master Scoffer?
I do not believe I have had the pleasure as such, no.
Well, this is Master Scoffer, the Empress's economic advisor. Master Scoffer, this is Lady Gemma Francisca, who we are being very nice to.
Master Scoffer will do his best Paratornian flourishing bow, and according to the high fashions of Paratornian court, well, I mean, Taralese would know that particular flourish is about 5 years out of date, but it looks modern in this context. The Lady Gemma will give him a nod, him being a commoner and all.
I come hoping you can do my mistress a very big favor.
Yes? And what would that be?
Well, as you know, she's expecting a child soon, and of course, this being Her Majesty's first, she needs an advisor with some experience of raising children.
Shamash and Tammuz be praised over this news.
Mm-hmm. And I believe you have raised several children, and you are very knowledgeable about what is required. Goodness knows, I'm not conversant in the things that babies need.
Each new mother will find their own way eventually, but of course, in my day, we had help from midwives and others, nurses, of course. Good nurses are hard to come by these days.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Where? I noticed the last time I was here that your staff is enviable. Goodness, so hardworking, all of them.
Quite so. We all do our duties here on Palamux.
But yes, my mistress was hoping that perhaps there might be a mistress of the princess's wardrobe could be appointed, somebody of suitable status, since after all, she would be the heir to the throne. Can you think of anyone who might suit?
This is gonna be a Machinator thing, isn't it? Sooner or later.
Basically, I don't want to take up too much screen time. I've already had a fairly extensive scene. This is Lady Brythanni's attempt to help Lady Gemma out by giving her a sizable amount of money for doing hypothetical work that will not amount to very much other than just being nice to the Empress.
While saving Lady Gemma's face, of course.
Yes. Yes. Hence why she phrased it as, this is a favor. We would so appreciate it if you could help us out. You're so knowledgeable, and of course of the appropriate standing, and so on and so forth.
Because I think you have a level of Machinator, don't you?
I do indeed.
Yes, you do. I haven't put it in there yet because for some reason.
Oh, whoops.
On the sheet, but that's okay. Why don't we do that? Water plus 1 fate die for Machinator, because you want to. Baudeville Scoffer, being in the service of the Empress as well, will actually do his duty here. Strangely, but
Goodness.
True. Yeah, and the man is a businessman, and he understands where loyalties lie and how you go ahead with things like this. So he is definitely going to help out as best as he can. So I'm going to use...
There may have been a slight dressing down on the way here on the subject of how we comport ourselves when talking to the old Palamoxy nobility.
Right. So I'm going to use one of my dice for that, out of the kindness of my heart. And there we go. That's going to be 4 dice in total for him. It's a success. It helps. He helps. So you get another die, as he will.
Unpracticed in this particular social milieu, but he's trying it. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Very trying. Okay,
Very
so
trying.
that gives me 5 dice.
Yes, indeed. Ooh. She knows her way around.
This is her idea.
Yeah, she knows her way around court something. That's 4 successes. 3 of them 6s.
Well, clearly, Lady Brythanni is just a callow young lady who shamelessly manipulated by the much more experienced Lady Gemma Francisca.
Clearly. Lady Gemma Francisca will roll 4 dice for this, partly because she's a noble, so she's outranking the people here. But 4 dice with 3 successes is not going to be enough. With 3 6s, you basically cause all the doubt immediately. That is 4 points of damage to her doubt. To her that gives her 4 points of doubt immediately. So she is as putty in your hands. She is apparently, instead of being, feeling like she's being pulled like a puppet on strings. She feels extremely flattered by, I think maybe she's starstruck by the Empress and the Emperor and this rise of the Second Clavikian Empire. Oh yes, she definitely wants to throw her lot into this group.
Good, good. All right, and of course, a down payment to appropriate to her station, a mere honorarium to as a tribute to this delightful occasion, and we should of course pour out the Karoom and do everything properly. But the upshot is, I'm going to spend a fate die to give her a bunch of money.
Yep, that is. There will be a lump sum for her, basically.
Yeah.
With influence level 3, you can give her a big lump sum, like a big one.
I mean, the Empress's allies should live somewhere that looks a little less depressing. So
that means that we will have. Are we gonna upgrade the estate at some point?
I mean, that's not really up to me.
I will have to ask the son of Lady Gemma.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I will massage Vaudeville Scoffer's ego about that whole situation, because I don't imagine he's very pleased at having given away that much money.
Oh no, he is.
Despite the fact that he fully understands that was a business proposition. I mean, presumably they have to pay bribes in Paratorna too, like.
Oh yes, of course. It's more a matter of how big the bribe has to be, and he's absolutely sure that you could have gotten away with, a better deal. Basically, he's Lady Brythanni, you really have to learn more about making proper deals. This is just not. This was not a good deal. This was not a good deal.
And you, Mr. Scoffer, need to learn more about political theater. This was exactly the deal I wanted to make.
I'm telling you, you Palamoxie, you don't have a nose for business. That's what I'm saying.
It is always so fun working with you. Really has been nice.
I have to draw up the accounts.
So nice.
For the Empress. There will be red in the ledger on this side, right here. There will be red.
Who do you think sent me, Master Scoffer?
I can only, I'll tell the good Empress, but I'm sure I could have gotten away with at least 100 gold turkeys less.
Well, I'm sure you'll dazzle her on your next trade mission. Has she assigned you a mission yet?
That's between her and me. Yep. That's between her and me.
Always a pleasure, Master Scoffer. Shall I drop you off?
Please.
Bye-bye now.
All right. I'm looking here also at the time. Did we want to have a final scene somewhere? Is there something I missed about, before the year ends? Year 9 of the since the Chronolab was inaugurated? Everyone quiet. That sounds like we've actually done an evening.
I'm golden. I've got a wedding to go to, plots in the works. We can bring in the new year with a rager.
All right, we will do that then very soon, and we'll start with moving your pieces over the chessboard of the Game of Shadows again.
I still have a wedding to plan, but I really don't know how to go about that. So,
from the sounds of things, tarps.
I did a metric fuck ton of research into wedding traditions in this era. Hit me up and we can exchange.
Yeah. Also, can I just say that your condescending resting bitch face is amazing?
Organize a big hunt. It's always popular with a big hunt, and I'm sure, in fact, that Clement Regumba will insist on one.
I feel like Praanz might be slightly conflicted with that hunt, though.
Praanz is getting a tattoo.
Why? No, surely not.
Just gonna skip right to the psychological torment part of the ceremonies.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening or watching, however you partook, and we will see you again in a little while.
Wonderful to see everyone again.